Hey y'all, it's Leah. I am back with my completed Still Waters Junk Journal January journal. This is by far the largest journal I have ever made, and I'm a little overwhelmed looking at it. I took a couple of weeks off after the end of January when I was working on it daily, and I was working on some other projects, and I decided to give myself a little break from it, step back from it, and then in the last week and a half, I came back to it. And last night, I just decided it needs to be done, and so I spent like 4 hours finishing it up. So I'm gonna do a flip through. I'm gonna go through mostly the things that I've added because I've already done a couple of videos showing the daily things that we did. Okay, so we go in. It is, just as a reminder, if you haven't seen it before, it is a 4-signature journal. It is bound. It's got a hidden spine on the inside so you don't see it. You know, this wraps around and the signatures are sewn onto a sheet of like tagstock, and then that is glued down to the center from the inside. This was a kit from Ink and Page Journals. It was a free kit. It is still available. And I'll link below how you can get that. Debbie did an amazing job with putting this together, and it is definitely one of my favorite journals. So I've just got just some little hidden paper clips. This was something that I did with a friend during a live a couple of weeks ago. She was working on where you're just kind of layering, making little clusters, and we were doing them, you know, kind of these long clusters, and I was like, oh, I can put a paper clip on the back of it. And so I just did that, where I just took a piece of, I use a lot of, like, this is medical tape, and so I just put that on the back, just kind of, you know, slipped it over in between the two prongs of the paper clip, and then that just makes a fun little, not really a hidden paper clip, but because you see it on the back, so I could attach something there if I wanted to. So these are some of the pages that anything that's got a number was one that was already done for the group, but I did add this one in. For this one, I used one of the strips that she had and turned that into a belly band. So this comes out. It's a little tight on there. I think because I had put some of the gold paint on there. Same for this one. There we go. So that kind of pops up, and then I just did some gold. It's like a wax around that. For this one, I took one of the cool quotes that she had, and I cut it apart and turned that into a belly band. This is just strips, so I used a lot of my leftover scraps because every time I would cut things out, I would save the sides, and so I had a bunch of strips, and so I did just this diagonal board there. And so then I have two little journaling cards here. This one's got some texture paste on it. Use some of the tabs just to add those on there. And then this is just a journaling card. For a lot of things, I just try to add a little bit of copper here and there. So even on this page, I just painted copper around some of the, you know, borders and that kind of thing. I put it on the inside of the flower. This was one of my cluster when we did snippet strips, so this was a piece of that I just added there. This is just a little pocket, a little side pocket, and again I took one of the quotes and then cut it apart and added it to a tag, and then just kind of decorated that, so that's, you know, gives a good journaling spot there. This was just a tuck. This one I had printed some of the labels on sticker paper, and so I actually just took two of the labels and put them back to back on there, and I just like kind of that translucence that comes from that piece, and then just did another, added a little tag to that. And again, that's the tabs that I printed on sticker paper with that. And then this was just one of my little clusters that I had done. These were some extra, I took some of the extra little strips and just stapled them together and glued, turned that into, again, one of those little paper clips. This is just a little flip journaling card, or pocket, little piece there. And then just decided to add some butterflies to the page. On some of my empty vellum pages, I just went in and put some either texture paste or paint to kind of match. I used just the same 2 stencils throughout the whole thing. This texture paste I actually mixed in with some copper paint, and so it gives just that really cool, I love the texture of that, and it gives a little sparkle on there. It was crazy when I counted how many pages that were left over. I think I had almost 60 extra pages that I had to go in and fill. So it was a little overwhelming at first. This was just a little strip that I had, and then I love that paint palette. And for this, I just put some Wink of Stella on there. So it probably doesn't come up in the camera, but I can see it. So it just kind of makes the paint shimmer a little bit. Another one of those little clusters that I did. And then I just added, I found this contour from Stamperia in rose gold, and so it's kind of that coppery color, and I love this stuff. So I have always used, it's in the jar, and it was the mine is hidden, I can't get to it right now, but it was like gilding wax, and it's in a jar, and you've got to like stick your finger in it or stick a sponge or something in it, and it can get really messy. But this just has this really fine tip on it that you can do stuff like this. You can even write with it. It is just the coolest stuff, and so I'm addicted to it. And I found it at a store that is going out of business, so I got it at a discount, so that was pretty cool too. So this was just a little double pocket that I made, and actually I just realized I didn't put anything in the pockets, so I should probably add something to that. And with this, I just added a little tea bag that I had saved, and some of the copper, string. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So, oh my gosh, I feel like words are escaping me lately. So yeah, just kind of flipping through here. I had just added this. I had added some texture paste a while back to that. Added this little pocket. So again, I just took that, this contour stuff and just went around that butterfly like that. I just think it looks so cool. That in there. And then I filled in all of my little pockets. I added all of the little extra pieces that I had because I cleaned out, I had done a video the other day about using this. My mom had made me this little like ephemera keeper, and so now it is empty. So I took everything out. I saved some things that I can use in future projects that I just put in with my scraps. I have all of my scraps like color coded. And so I put those in there, and then any of the little pieces that were like specific to this journal that I might not use someplace else, I just tucked into these little envelopes and then into the big envelope in the back. Okay, I just did a little collage there to cover up. I had glued down a pocket here and realized it was going to be a very similar pocket to what I had someplace else, like someplace super close. And so I was like, oh, so I ripped it off and ended up with some torn paper. So I just did a little collage there, kind of matches the collage up there. And then this was a little journal card that we had. So I added the flower, just added that there, tuck that into that spot. I've shown that one before. This is a pocket that is a flip out. So I added, this is one of my little snippets, and then I added a quote, so that flips out like this, and then it's a pocket on the inside. So I did, again, I took some of the strips and just went this way with them, and then did it into a tag shape and added a couple of little pieces, and then that was just a leftover piece. And so I just have these tucked in to this pocket there. So yeah, definitely when you're getting into the, I'm in the third signature now, it's a little tight in here. This is another pocket. So this one is a slider pocket. So it does that. And so I've got just these little pieces tucked in there. That should be in there. And then I, again, added a little, one of the little strips and just did that as a belly band. Just did a little flicking of paint on here to add some texture. I did a belly band, just adding, layering 3 strips on there, and then adding one of my little snippets, and just tucked in one of the pretty ladies in there. These I did 2, this is the center of the signature, and I did these little corner pockets that are, you know, they're matching each other, and just added little clusters on those. So just have a couple little pieces tucked in to that. There's another just simple pocket there with a little cluster. This was one of the projects. This is a Z-fold pocket, so it does that. So it opens up, and then it's got a pocket behind. When you glue it with the 3 sides down. So these are kind of cool if you want to do like a hidden journaling kind of thing, hidden message or something. I've done that before with that, but I just really liked the picture that went kind of across. This was one of our strips that I just turned into a belly band, and then just tucked a little piece behind there. Corners, some more little snippets, some more, did some more, texture paste, or actually this is paint on the vellum. Just did a little cluster of papers here, one of my little clusters there, and then now we're into the 4th signature. And a lot of these were, oh, I did a little paper bag pocket. I love these little paper bag pockets, a little surprise on the inside. They're so easy to do. I do have a video on those, and then just added some washi tape across the bottom. And then a lot of these were from the kit. This one I just took one of the papers, turned that into a tuck spot, added a little envelope that's got some extra little goodies tucked inside here. Is another one of those corner pockets, and then I added another piece on here to make an extra pocket. This was a fun, I'm going to do a tutorial on this. This was a fun little hidden paper clip that's got pockets on it, and then I can add a dangle to that. I didn't. So it's got a pocket here, and then it's got extra little ticket pockets on there as well. So that just slides on to the top of that. And then this, I made a little belly band out of tiny pockets. So you just take a strip of paper and fold it in half, and then chop it, and then make those into little pockets. So you can do as many as you want. You could do 3 bigger ones. I like to work in odd numbers, so this one I did 5 little ones, and I had a lot of these little cards left over, so I just tucked those in there, and then just added some of the copper foil along that, and then just a couple little pieces behind there. And that was one of the things. This was a big kind of snippet when I was making those snippet stacks. This was a big piece that I did, even adding in a motif of some crochet and then just clipped that in there, clip that there. And I think that is, yep. And then my final pocket just has some extra things in there. So that is done. She is completely finished. She is going to take up a lot of space on the bookshelf, but I am so pleased and I just love her very much. And I can't wait for Junk Journal July. So I will see y'all later. Bye.